I really hope that this thing is recording. And let's adjust the light a little bit. Maybe make it look a little better. Is that better? I think it looks a little more natural than having my face all completely whited out. I did some shopping today and I bought the most expensive bottle of whiskey I ever bought today. I did all my laundry for 5 weeks. I brought home some groceries and I carried it all up the stairs and I put it all away. And that heated me up some. I hope the noise of the fan over there's a fan right by the door. The door is open and there's a fan just off the screen over there. I hope the noise of the fan is not too loud and that you can hear me okay. I'm going to go back to one of those whiskeys that I've had a couple of bottles of in the past, but that was before I started doing many of these videos of whiskey. So I guess I'll revisit it. I think the last time I had a bottle of this was about 4 years ago. And this is the Bushmills single malt, 10 years old. It's an Irish whiskey. It's not really part of the Irish expansion. The Irish expansion is there. This is one of those bottles that just replaces one of the old bottles that was gone already. So I guess I'll have to turn the bright light on again just so that we can see what we're doing here. Okay. There's some dust on the top because I bought this some time ago. And it says here that I bought it on the 8th of April. So May, June, 2.5 months almost since I got this. And I haven't opened it yet because I've had so many other things to open already. I'm just finishing my gin and tonic, which I'm using to cool off after carrying all that stuff up the stairs. That's a beautiful breeze I got going with that fan. And here is the bottle of Bushmills 10-year-old single malt. It looks almost like a Johnny Walker bottle, but the label's different. And there's nothing left in here. Does it say anything important? Let's find out. Bushmills single malt, triple distilled, aged 10 years, matured in bourbon and Oloroso sherry casks for a minimum of 10 years. And the old Bushmills distillery, distilled, matured, and bottled by Old Bushmills Distillery, 750 mils and 40% alcohol by volume. This is one of those Irish whiskies that has not gone with the higher ABV. Oh my, let's see if I can read this. Ireland's oldest whiskey distillery, found on County Antrim's rugged coastline. The village of Bushmills is home to Ireland's oldest whiskey distillery. Official records stretch back to 1608, hence the 1608 on the top there. Okay. When the area was granted its license to distill. Over 400 years later, whiskey is still being made in Bushmills thanks to the experience and craft we've passed on from generation to generation. We matured Bushmills 10-year single malt for at least 10 years in handmade bourbon and Oloroso sherry casks. This combination of woods makes this 10-year-old smooth and approachable. Its honey, vanilla, and chocolate notes are balanced by toasted wood, ripe fruit, and crisp, clean finish. And does it say anything else on there? Return for refund where applicable. Original grant to distill, and so on. Drink responsibly. recycle, and so on and so on. Okay. Here's another one for the wall back there. And here's our Bushmills. Does it have a C shape? Yes, it does. That comes off nice and beautiful, nice and easy. There's a cork. That is class. And my phone is making noise back there. Someone has sent me an email or something. Okay. Let's get on with the nosing of this little beauty. Oh, first, cleanse the palate just a wee bit. Get rid of that juniper gin taste. Ooh. Already I'm smelling the quite complex at first. I'm getting some fruits, raisins, prunes, and then, strangely enough, I'm getting some, what is that? Yeah, prunes. Yeah, definitely prunes, but there's definitely a apple. Strange. There's like a pear note in there, and an apple note, along with the prune note and the raisin note. Interesting fruity character. Medium and light fruits. Dried fruits and fresh fruits, all on the same nose. You know, I didn't notice this last time I had a Bushmills 10-year-old, but back then I didn't really know how to nose it, and I didn't really know how to appreciate it. I just drank it and it tasted good and smooth. But nosing is half the experience, which I didn't know back then, so I'm kind of glad that I'm revisiting this now, as I wanted to do to all these whiskeys that I have not made videos of yet, that I have tried in the past. There's another something happening here. I'm getting some, it smells like it's dry. It smells astringent. Did I have this too bright? Let's get the right mood. There, that's better. Looks more natural. Sorry about that. I don't always remember to turn the light and make the white balance correct. What is it that I'm getting? Pencil shavings? There's something in the nose that reminds me of the lead from pencils. And yeah, the pencil shavings, the wood. So I'm getting some oak in there. And it's a really rather nice nose. It's quite pleasant. I think in the background there's some there's that mix of fresh and medium fruits again, red fruits and light fruits. So apple, pear, raisins, prunes. What else? Is it a vanilla? No, it seems like an astringent. It's astringent, but there's something else behind that. Is it a fudge or a toffee? Maybe some kind of a chocolate note in there with the fruits. It's not a Tootsie Roll kind of chocolate. It's kind of a uh, it's kind of an old milk chocolate that's drying out and turning white, if you know what I mean. Not unpleasant. But the mix of fruits, there's even a berry note in there. I don't know if it's like blackberry. Yeah, blackberry jam. It's amazing how this changes as you go along. The fruity notes change. And hints of chocolate. I'm not really getting a lot of vanilla and caramel, but it may be back in the back of the whole cocktail that I'm nosing. And this is at 40%. You know, I think this would benefit a lot from being at 43 or 46%. The extra alcohol would carry the nose much more efficiently than this 40% where you have to really dig for it. Well, let's go give it a wait. My mouth is really dry. Ah, maybe it was the gin. Maybe it was the spruce beer I had with my poutine for dinner. Ah. Mm. Ooh. Ah. I'm getting strong fruity notes. Apples, pears, bit of cinnamon in there with that. Berries, not so much chocolate. Um, very mouth-watering, very fruity. A little bit oaky in the end. Mostly fruity. Coats your teeth. Coats the inside of the mouth completely with fruits. And then, towards the end, there's a bit of a chocolate note towards the end. And now, in the aftertaste, now I'm getting a bit of vanilla and a little bit of, just a little bit of toffee. Just a little bit of toffee. It could be stronger. It's a little weak. The fruits have faded and moved aside and moved down. And now, a bit of fudge maybe. Not too sure. Not much spicy in there. Let's try it again. That is a nice nose with the fruit and the pencil shavings. Some oak in there. Chocolate more in the background. It still smells really dry, really astringent. You can tell the triple distilling is going on. Very much purified. Digging deeper, there's the chocolate again. Fudge. A little bit of fudge. Not that much in the way of toffee and vanilla. It's fruit forward. That's what you get at first. Now I'm getting wood and fruits. The pencil shavings, the oak, um, some bitterness, a little bit of bitterness along with the fruits. That's probably from the Oloroso casks. And they might not be first fill. I don't know if this is colored or not. It's not that dark, so maybe it's naturally colored. Yeah, a little bitterness with the fruits there, and it's red fruits and light fruits, so it's pears, apples, some raisins and plums. Now I'm not, it's more like prunes on the nose, but more like plums on the taste. Excuse me. I believe I drank my gin and tonic a little fast. So, what have we got? Astringent, triple distilled. At the end, on the aftertaste, there's a little bit of that blackberry jam. And yeah, what did I pay? Get some more light here. Bushmills, 10 years single malt, $46.95, and that's without the taxes. And with the taxes, it's $54.04. That's almost down in the daily sipper range. I could sip this daily. I remember the last time I had this, or the last couple times I've had this, was maybe 3 or 4 years ago the last time, and maybe the time before that was 5 or 6 years ago. I remember that it went down so easily that the bottle disappeared in no time. And I believe I sipped it daily at that time. But now I have more choices, so I could sip this and something else daily. It's rather nice. Slancha.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Yeah.